Hey, it's Kyle Winrick, and this is my third video reflection. And in this video reflection, I'd like to talk to you about my current placement, which is at the Central Institute for the Deaf in St. Louis, Missouri. It is a private school for the deaf, and the children in this school, there are two types of children. There are children who have a hearing loss, but there are also typical hearing peers who have no hearing loss. And they work together in the school, grouped by abilities, and the hearing peers work together with the children who are deaf or hard of hearing together in a classroom. They get similar education. They work on very similar things, just developing language and other things that kids in a preschool setting would. So I'm working in a classroom that is a preschool classroom, so the kids are 3 to 5 years old. And there are two boys and two girls in the classroom where I'm working. For the two boys, one of the boys is a hearing peer, so he has no hearing loss. The other boy has a profound hearing loss and wears bilateral cochlear implants. And for the girls, one of the girls has bilateral profound hearing loss and wears bilateral cochlear implants. And the other girl has a mild to moderate hearing loss and wears bilateral hearing aids. For other professionals that are in my classroom, it's just me and the cooperating teacher, the cooperating teacher and I. And as for the other important professionals that I'd like to mention in the school, on site there are audiologists, there are speech language pathologists, and early interventionists, and lots of other support staff that can help out with any issues that need to be addressed, and they can be addressed very quickly because everyone works in the same building. I'd like to talk a little bit about the schedule and what my schedule looks like in this placement. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about each one really quickly. So from 8:25 the students arrive, and from 8:25 to 8:40 this consists of the students come in, put their book bags where they need to go and their coats and lunch boxes, and then we do listening checks to make sure that their devices are working optimally and are functioning correctly so that they receive the best input and can work to their best potential throughout the day. Then from 8:40 to 9, we go to the discovery room, which is right across the hall, and this is circle time. And the circle time is facilitated by a teacher who leads it every day. And in circle time, this is a time where conversation is encouraged and interaction with peers and also the teachers. There are different concepts that are involved here, like calendar, discussing days of the week, the month, the date, different types of aspects of the education that you'll see throughout the day. So there's a little bit of math involved, with the calendar time, obviously, and also discussing, some shapes, some sparkle words, which are important words that are highlighted that are often left out for children who are deaf or hard of hearing. So little words like to, or or the, or and. So those words are focused in an area in circle time where there's a message for the day, and the children point out sparkle words, and they do it throughout the day in any type of setting, whether it's in their classroom or circle time or even at gym. If they hear the word, it's an important word, so they mention it, and it's really cool that they get that exposure all day long. So after circle time is 9 to 9:30 is structured language time. So this first structured language time, I have two children with me, and the other two go to gym for this time. And the children are grouped by ability, so this structured language time involves a lot of direct instruction, working with specific targets that have been chosen by the teacher or myself that the children either need to learn because they're new strategy or new targets, or they're review targets that are just continue to be worked on because they need more development with those targets. So these language targets are spread out through 4 different activities. So there's vocabulary, which vocabulary is very important. So we focus on vocabulary that's related to a theme, and the language targets are chosen for the ability level of the students, maybe a little bit of challenging, just because they're learning so much new language that picking new targets and working on old ones as well, just to make sure that they're concrete and solidified so that the children understand them and can use them in different settings as well. So after this first structured language time, sorry, I forgot to mention that After there's a vocabulary activity and then 3 syntax activities that involve different targets, and it's just different activities that keep the students engaged and practicing their targets throughout the lesson. After this first structured language time, 9:30 to 10 is the second structured language time, and this is just one-on-one with another student, and the other students go to a different area, whether it's the discovery room for activities or to the gym for activities in the gym as well. So the second structured language time is a little bit different because it's a different student with a different ability, so there may be a little bit of a difference in the targets. They're close to being similar for the most part, but the student in the second group may be pushed a little bit more because she has a little bit more capabilities with her language, so her targets might be a little bit more difficult than the first group. And that's the great thing about a school like this is you can scaffold targets and adjust lessons and different targets to make it more realistic for the student to achieve. And I think that's very helpful because the students develop much quicker when they can practice and get more exposure to the targets that they need to work on. So I think this is a great time. After this second structured language time, from 10 to 10:15 is snack. And oftentimes people might think snack is just, you come in, you have a snack, and it's just something to eat, to hold you over until lunch. But snack is a great time to practice language. So any of those language targets that are being worked on are incorporated into snack time and can be used when eating. So it's something fun and engaging for the kids as well, and they get to have a snack. From 10:15 to 10:45 is conversational language. This activity involves the carryover of targets from structured language into an activity that is fun that the students can do. So like the fall theme that we're working on right now, we might paint leaves, go on a nature walk and talk about it. Just different activities that are related to the theme that builds more background knowledge and gives the children more vocabulary to use, and also they're still working on their language targets. And at this time they can talk to each other, and this conversational language time allows the students to interact with each other more and use their language with one another instead of the teacher facilitating it as much. After this conversational language time, 10:45 to 11:30 centers, and the centers involved a bunch of different activities that the kids can rotate between centers, and maybe there's like a block area, and then there's an area where they can paint, just different tactile, different types of learning abilities, all culminated into a center that's all located in one room where the kids can go back and forth and they can talk with one another and use the language that they're learning and use the different structures that they're learning with one another when engaging in these activities, which is really fun. And then after centers, 11:30 to 12 is lunch. And during this lunchtime, I will talk with my teacher, my cooperating teacher, about how the day went and different things like that, and discuss what went well and what can be improved. So for my responsibilities, currently I do all the device checks in the morning. Circle time is facilitated by another teacher, so I just monitor the students and help with language in there when necessary. I plan and teach the structured language time, and I am just starting to plan the conversational language pieces and the activities for that. So I'm getting into that as well. So I'm really taking on more responsibilities, which is great. That's exactly what I want. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I would say a challenging situation for one of our students is both parents sign at home, and she's in a school for listening and spoken language, so she's learning how to talk, but she has difficulty wanting to wear her hearing aids. So trying to get her parents to understand the importance of wearing her hearing aids during all waking hours at home, in the car ride home, is important, because anytime she's not wearing them, she'll be missing out on a lot of information, which can be difficult. So I would say that's a challenging situation. A successful situation for me, I would say, is the ability to, talk to parents and learn a little bit more about their child and understand, some of their strengths and weaknesses. So this, I consider this a successful situation because it allows me to plan more efficiently and work with the students and develop a better rapport with them. So, to wrap up, I guess I would say that, I really love this placement. I love working in the preschool setting at the Central Institute for the Deaf, and I look forward to taking on more responsibilities and doing my best to improve my skills as a prospective deaf educator. Thanks.